Hey guys, Morgan's Maintenance, episode 93 of Guess the Trade, where subscribers send in pictures of loadouts, whether it's tools, tool bags, toolboxes, whatever it might be. We take a look at those pictures and then we guess down in the comment section below what it is we think that they do with those tools. Well, back in episode 92, we looked at Scott Hubbs. He had a Vito MB3. We also got a little bit of a glimpse of the inside of his van. Lots of nice tools. Well, what was it that he did with those tools? Scott said that he is an HVA service tech. I feel like that was pretty obvious. He did say in his comment that he did 70% residential and then 30% commercial. And then he went into a list of several specific things that he did. So really nice loadout, Scott. Appreciate you sending it in. And I also really appreciate that answer with all that detail. Well, in today's loadout, we're going to look at AO. He has a toolbox, but it's kind of a little bit different because it's sitting on the back of his motorcycle. So I find that interesting. You know, I never even think to myself, there's some guys out there that drive a motorcycle back and forth to work. I mean, how do you carry the tools, whether it's a backpack or whatever it might be? You're going to be kind of limited. So you got to make sure that every tool, you know, is the bang for its buck type thing. So we're going to take a look at AO's loadout, see if we can guess what it is that he does with these tools. Let's go ahead and jump into his tools. So first picture, again, we're going to be looking at a toolbox. I'm not sure what the brand of toolbox is, if it's anything specific or anything like that. It looks just like your standard, you know, hard plastic type toolbox. Again, on the back of a motorcycle, you'll be able to see that in the next picture here where you can see it up against that back seat. So instead of somebody sitting on the passenger seat, he's got his tools riding like that. So there it is strapped in. I want to say he said he used a hammock strap or something like that to hold it into place. So now we're inside now, off the motorcycle, and it's opened up. Whatever this toolbox is, it does look like it has like a gasket as far as to keep it weatherproof. We're going to see a lot of these out, so I'm not going to zoom in here and, you know, check these out or anything like that. It does look like he's got some mechanics gloves, a few Klein things I'm noticing. Irwin tape measure, that's my favorite tape measure at the moment. I see an older Craftsman handle and maybe either a Milwaukee or maybe a Craftsman tool down in there as far as the power tool. But again, we're going to see several of this out a lot easier to see, but just to give you an idea of how it's loaded into his toolbox. So here is another picture with a few of the things kind of moved out of the way, his gloves and all that stuff. He's also opened up this red box, which has some safety gloves, and then also are some gloves, some safety glasses, and some earplugs. So that's pretty much all of his safety gear. He's got some Harbor Freight pins over there, markers. I don't know what that orange almost looks like 10 gauge, like a sheathing, but I don't think that's wire. I'm not sure what that is. Again, Klein receptacle tester. Looks like he's got a knife sharpener of sorts. He's also got some more earplugs. So a lot of times if you see a lot of safety glasses, a lot of earplugs and things like that, it's sometimes, most of the time, if you carry it all the time, it's because places make you wear them. So you might work for a company that forces you to wear them. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't wear them. I'm just saying people that have them all the time, it's because you have to wear them usually. Like I always think industrial, because I grew up working in factories. I had to wear safety glasses, steel toe boots, hearing earplugs 100% of the time, the whole time I was inside the plant. Now I don't do such a good job wearing those as I should. But he's got several of that, so maybe I'm thinking maybe industrial or something like that. But again, it's just a guess at this point. And then down here, again, that's kind of that same look as what we got. There is a Bauer battery, so now I can see that for sure. So that's what that is. But again, he is going to kind of come out of this a little bit more. So here we've got some stuff starting to stick out. He's got a aux. I'm going to look at what's in the box, and then we'll go around the outside. So what's still left in the box, aux as far as the caulking gun. Let's see, I can see again the Craftsman driver. Looks like almost like a flexible bit holder. Bigger, almost looks like a bigger pair of needle nose of some sort, maybe Pittsburgh or something. I can see a little bit of green on that. And then the other side we just saw. So now scroll on up. So we've got a pair of Knipex, and I can see 7 inches. So I'm assuming those are 180s on the Cobras. Again, the Irwin 16-foot tape measure. So there is the Klein. It's the ET310. So that's the other half of his receptacle tester. Also a circuit breaker finder. Let's see. He's got, I'm going to zoom in. Let's see if I can zoom in a little more. Milwaukee 1505. He's got a Garner Bender multimeter, another battery. There is the mod box set. I can't remember what the part number is on that one. That's not the starter kit. I can't remember what the one on that one is, but it's got like SAE, the screwdriver, and then also several bits and stuff like that. So he's got a Bauer 20 volt on the impact. He's got a couple DeWalt drill bits up there, maybe 1/8 inch if I had to guess, looking at it from here. He's got a DeWalt locking bit holder with a chuck in it as well, so that he can, run drill bits and stuff like that if he needs to in his impact, I guess. Let's see what we got over here on the left. DeWalt right angle adapter, another DeWalt locking bit holder, so he likes the same locking bit holders as me. A pair of Craftsman on the diagonals. He's got some wire nuts, electrical tape, black and yellow. He's got some big blues in there. A lot of people don't carry big blues unless they're in a certain field, so that's a good help for you as well. And then he's also just noticed now, he's made himself, he's kind of his own dividers along with some PVC stuff to be able to hold certain pliers, pencils, and all that in his toolbox. So again, I'm sure you have to get a little bit creative, whenever all you've got is, what you can stick on your passenger seat of a motorcycle, which is even smaller than a passenger seat of your truck or whatever else. So he's made a lot of effort in this toolbox. You can definitely tell that for sure. We'll move on to the next one. So here is also a pouch along with some sort of a bag. It looks like a Klein mod box pouch. Got a couple vessel drivers in there. Let's see. Also looks like a Volt Claw Klein as far as a flick blade knife, headlamp, and some blue pliers. I'm assuming maybe Cobalt, but could be Work Pro. We'll see that here in just a minute, I guess. Yeah, so here's all that stuff out. I'm not a big fan of the Klein pouch thing right there. I bought some of those when they were on clearance. They're okay for the price, but they're extremely stiff. So he does have Cobalt strippers over there. Almost looks like a forged wire type stripper, that kind. And then he's got a pair of Cobalt linemen's. Another longer DeWalt locking bit holder. Again, he's got the Volt Claw vessel USB. So a lot of these tools, the vessel tang through, that's a little bit longer than the ones I usually run. A 100, or I want to say 100, maybe a 150, but I think his is probably the 150. And again, he's got the Klein with the screwdriver holder as far as the flick blade, and then a Cobalt non-contact voltage tester. And let's see if I see anything else that's kind of over in the pouch. I don't think so, other than that marker. He does have a tape holder on his pouch. Again, that should tell you something as well. Here is the back side of the pouch. So he's got marker. He's got some wire nuts and stuff tucked up there at the very top as well. And then he's kind of made his own little shoulder sling, I'm assuming, is what he's using right there. Maybe he doesn't wear this on his actual pants, but he actually made himself like a shoulder sling. And here he's also got that other bag clipped to it. He's got his headlamp there on the back as well. So there's his name. Not a lot of pictures because, like I said, I don't guess you can carry a whole awful lot when you're riding around a motorcycle. But he does have a Klein mod box pouch that he's kind of looks like he's converted into working as a shoulder strap type pouch with another bag there. And then he's got this toolbox. There's several of the tools out, some of them still in. Here they are loaded in there with some of the things moved out of the way. Here it is opened up all together. And then the last two pictures are the ones where it's actually sitting right there on his passenger seat of his motorcycle. But overall, a nice loadout of that toolbox from AO that sits on the back of his motorcycle. Again, I have no idea what that toolbox is. Maybe he can answer that in the comments below. But it is interesting to see. Again, I never have even really thought about that whatsoever. I don't ride a motorcycle, drive a motorcycle, don't do any of that kind of stuff. But I have known some people over the course of time that work in the trades and they drive a motorcycle as far as to get back and forth to work. And I've never even thought about, how do they get their tools back and forth? I did see where he had some saddlebags and stuff like that, but primarily he said he uses this toolbox. So very interesting, really nice loadout. Interested to see what you guys think down in the comments below. Have any of you ever had to come up with some way? I always think about too, people that work in cities like New York and stuff like that. I don't even have to think about that where I live. I pretty much have to drive everywhere I work. I've got my truck everywhere I go. It's got to be kind of logistically wise a little bit hard sometimes. If you've got to have a backpack and get on a bus or a subway, to go do your job, or get on a motorcycle or something like that. So it's just something I never think about, but I am interested to see what you guys think. Let us know in the comments below if this is kind of the thing that you do in your work and what you kind of run for that as well. But don't forget to guess what it is you think AO does with these tools in his toolbox. Hope this video was interesting. You guys stay safe. Have a blessed day. I'll see you in the next video.